Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 kids you won't believe are real. So, there are many kids in the world, but here is an exceptional few which will amaze you. Some will amaze you for good reasons, and others for not so good reasons. Some of these kids are so out of control they'll make your jaw drop, while others will restore your faith in humanity. Before we get into it, why not subscribe and press the notification bell too. Coming in at number 10 we have Jailboy. So when you were a kid, did you have an allowance? Many people did get $1 or $2 each week. Then kids usually go and spend them instantly all on candy. But that is not the case for one 9-year-old very socially conscious boy. When you look at the top of this image, it appears this boy's being arrested by police. But check out the full picture and you can see the true story. This 9-year-old boy actually saved up his summer allowance money to buy and donate books to the local jail. Most people think guys in jail are just bad people, but this kid thinks while they have made mistakes in the past, they can be reformed. Many say that jail actually hardens criminals and makes them commit more crimes. But when they can actually be rehabilitated in prison, that's a huge step. Hopefully with these donated books, they can now learn some skills and get a real job. Prisoners aren't often thought about or discussed much in society, so it's amazing this kid's doing something about it. You wouldn't think that a 9-year-old would be so socially conscious to do this, but this kid is very generous and smart. Next up is Internet Addict. So this kid is not as socially conscious as the other one. Many people say that kids nowadays are obsessed with the internet. That's usually a scaremongering thing the news says, but for this Russian kid, it's not far from the truth. In 2011, a boy named Sasha Fokin appeared on the Russian TV show Honey, We're Killing the Kids. This show is all about crazy problem kids. So, what was Sasha's problem? Well, he was addicted to the internet and video games. Apparently, this kid sometimes spends up to 24 hours a day on the computer. He plays games all through the night and then into the day as well. But the moment that went viral online and shocked everyone in the world was when he went nuts. His mother tried to take his computer away from him because he was hooked. And when she did, this kid went totally insane. He began crying, shouting, and screaming. This went viral online and turned into many memes as well. Many people who weren't familiar with the TV show thought this was some kind of prank or game show. But no, this is actually real and Sasha Fokin is addicted to the internet. Next up is Lunch Kid. So here's another kid who's going to restore your faith in humanity. When you were a kid in school, I'm sure there was the poor kid of the school. Or maybe various poor kids. And some of those poor kids often didn't have a lunch. One day a son said to their mother, "There's some kids in my class who don't eat." The mother then said, "How come?" And that's when the kid said, "Because they don't have one, mommy." He then asked, "Can I bring them some of mine?" Of course this was such a nice and kind idea, so the mother said yes. And as you can see, this kid bought in a whole basket of food for his classmates. Unfortunately, he lives in a poor area and many kids don't have enough money for food. So this kid brought in this massive tray of food and gave it out to his classmates for free. The crazy thing is, this was totally his idea. It would already be very nice if the mother came up with this idea, but the fact that this 9-year-old kid came up with this idea is absolutely amazing. He's bought plenty to go around and he's definitely the hero of his school. It's sad the kid actually has to do this, but the fact there's kids out there like this will restore your faith in humanity. Next up is Hardest Working Kid. So we've seen kids who have been helping out other kids who are less fortunate, and even kids helping out prisoners. Well, now here's a kid who's having some struggles. This kid is actually homeless, but he's still going to school. As you can see, this kid is very hardworking as he's using the light from the McDonald's to do his homework. That's right, even though this kid doesn't have a home, he's still doing his homework and working hard. I really hope the manager of this McDonald's came out and gave him a Big Mac. This kid seriously is going places. He may not have much now, but he doesn't let challenges stand in the way. Many kids don't like school, but this kid would do anything to go to school and to learn. But I think this kid will definitely get far in life. You may be thinking, why is this kid homeless and no one's doing anything about it? Well, this image was taken in the Philippines, where child homelessness is actually pretty common. This is very sad, but it's kids like this who will power through that and become successful. I'm sure in 10 years, this kid will not be homeless with his work ethic. Next up is Homeless Haley. So we've already seen one homeless kid in need of help. Well, here's one kid who actually helps out homeless people. This 9-year-old girl named Haley built shelters for homeless people. When she was 5 years old, she asked her mother how she could build houses for people who don't have them. Now obviously building a house is very hard and expensive, but what she could do is build a very economically viable hut for these homeless people to live in. Many homeless people just sleep on the street. This is very unsafe for them and also very cold, but Haley simply makes these discount shelters which only cost $300 to build. She said it doesn't seem right that homeless people don't have a place to live while she does. She gets help and guidance from her parents, but she does all of the construction herself. And as if that's not enough, she also grows food for the homeless people. She plans to grow 250 pounds of food for the homeless people in her small garden. It's absolutely amazing that she does this. And after her GoFundMe called Haley's Harvest went viral, she raised almost $70,000. This girl seriously is amazing and has helped so many people. Next up is Friend in Quarantine. So when somebody gets sick, it's terrible. But the only thing worse than somebody getting sick is when a child gets sick. One day a little boy fell ill and he was stuck in quarantine in the hospital. Nobody was allowed to visit him except his doctors and he was very lonely. But that was until his best friend was allowed in. His best friend can't actually see him in the same room, but instead every day he comes by and they play video games together through the glass. It's amazing that this kid does this for this kid. He comes by every single day while his friend's in quarantine and they play games. They may have to be in different rooms, but that does not stop the power of this friendship. It's very sad looking at this kid as he's got very sick eyes. But hopefully this kid can get out of quarantine. And when he does, he'll be able to play games with his best friend in the same room. Next up is Savior Girl. So when you rescue someone, you're considered a hero. Well, one day a 6-year-old girl rescued 8 things. They weren't people though, they were ducklings. You may look at this image and think the girl has got her hand stuck in this drain, but instead a family of 8 ducklings accidentally fell down this drain pipe. This 6-year-old girl rescued them all, and as you can see she made sure they were healthy before they walked off with their mom. This girl really does deserve a round of applause. If this 6-year-old girl hadn't seen these ducklings and rescued them, then these ducklings would be stuck down there. And who knows, they may not be alive today. This girl seriously is amazing and it's very impressive she's helping out. Next up is Animal Girl. So we've already seen one girl rescue some animals. Well, instead, one 8-year-old girl named Kia decided to help out a local animal shelter. She saw the work their local SPCA was doing. The SPCA saves animals' lives and helps animals who have been abused. So one day this young girl sold all of her stuffed animals. She wrote in a letter to the local SPCA saying, "I sold my stuffed animals so real animals can get better care." She was then able to donate the $40 she got from selling her animals to this local animal shelter. Now these real animals can get a better home after being abused. As you can see, she looks very happy. And so do these bunny rabbits, who now have $40 to spend on food and more things. This girl's smile is as big as her heart, and we definitely need more kids like her. This is a very selfless act, and it's safe to say this girl is being raised the right way. Next up is Seizure Savior. What would you do if your mom had a seizure? And to make things even worse, what would you do if your mom had a seizure in a swimming pool? Most of us would freak out because that is a terrible thing to think about. But this actually happened to one 5-year-old girl. However, instead, she stayed calm and saved the day. One day, this mother was having a seizure in their swimming pool. It was actually caught on camera on their security camera. The daughter was actually able to rescue her mother, call 911, and then she made a speedy recovery. It's crazy because having a seizure in a swimming pool is very dangerous. And if her 5-year-old girl wasn't such a hero, she may not be here today. This is really great of the kid, and it's great she didn't have to lose her mom. Many kids would simply freak out and cry. And I don't blame them, but this kid saved the day and her mom's life. Next up is Fortnight Addict. So we've already seen one boy who's addicted to the internet and gaming, but now for a kid who's addicted to the game everyone is playing right now. We all know the most popular game in the past 5 years has been Fortnite. It's absolutely massive, especially right now. And I'm sure many parents think their kids are addicted to the game. Well, here's one kid who actually gained fame in the UK for being addicted to Fortnite. According to his mom, this 10-year-old boy named Leo got addicted to playing Fortnite. He would apparently play it all night and would never come off the console. She said he would be screaming and hitting things if she tried to take it away, and she even had to change the Wi-Fi password to get him off the game. Some people said this mom is simply ridiculous. But what do you guys think? Is this just bad parenting, or is this kid really addicted to Fortnite? If this kid's addicted to Fortnite, then who knows what Ninja's mom is thinking? Check out the poll in the top right corner to vote for the most amazing kid on this list. I think it's the kid who builds homeless shelter. I think it's the kid who builds shelters for the homeless. If you guys want more amazing videos, check out my second channel. There'll be a link to that on screen in a moment. And I'll even play a sample of that channel on screen right now. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.